What's up, everybody? I'm Ryan Rex, and I'm here today on Warp Taste Podcast with the ever comparable, the always awesome, the Bunny the Bear. Welcome. Today, I would like each of y'all, the Bunny and the Bear, to introduce yourselves to our viewing audience.
I'm Matt. I'm the bunny.
I'm Brooke. I'm the bear.
And we're the
Yeah,
bunny the bear.
it all works out. We have the current lineup of the Bunny the Bear, and I think it goes without saying that Uh, the Bunny and the Bear's been around for just a little bit, I think, a smidgen of time, maybe. I think you guys have been around since the heydays of MySpace until now, and you've
Mhm.
always kept a consistency of just keep going, no matter what. There's always been Matt there to handle the lead writing and keep the ship afloat. And I got to say, that's probably one of the most admirable things about the Bunny the Bear, that just never say die, can't quit, just got to keep on going attitude. Just a
Definitely.
tactic. Yeah.
2008, man. It's a long time. Oh, my chin fell off.
Given
Now it's
the
like mine
context, that's great.
nowadays.
Like, we're gonna keep going until everything falls off, dude. It's like nothing's gonna just can't quit. I'm just not gonna
It's all
do
about
it.
how long I've been doing this. I start falling apart.
You
Need a
can't write
little
comedy
oil.
like that. That's just life right there. And I think given your archetypes, I mean, the bunny, the bear, I mean, those are just symbols in our lives, animals that just keep going through no matter what. They're always reinvented and they're always constantly coming back, whether they're cuter or more dangerous or just curiously searching for food. But what about the bunny, the bear has kept you going? Like, obviously, there's got to be something for it in you to keep it going. Like, why? Why?
Just what I do. I don't know. It's all I know. I mean, I've been doing this for so long. It's my passion. I always have something to say, and enjoy putting out my feelings and my thoughts and my music and seeing what people think about it. I think I definitely get off more on putting it out than that's probably the biggest aspect of it for me is really like giving it life and giving it to people and letting them digest it and getting their thoughts and feelings and opinions on it. And I just enjoy it. I don't know. It's just I can't really imagine not doing it even all these years in. I mean, I can see myself with a cane up there. It's scary, but I could see it with how much I already fall off stage and stuff. I can imagine like,
It just stays the same.
yeah,
It just keeps falling.
yes,
One time you won't be able to get up though.
yeah,
That'll be the thing.
it's gonna, yeah, I can see that too, but I'm
It'll
sure I'll
become
keep
part of the act.
screaming.
It'll all be part of the act, though. In the end, I mean, Ozzy's going to keep going. What's going to stop the bunny, the bear? Nothing. Like, think about it. There's no
No,
natural predators to the bunny, the bear, in any scene on this planet. I don't think.
no, Gus, no, I don't think so. I don't
I
think
don't think
so
it.
at all.
I think like the bunny, the bear is probably one of the most eclectic genre wise. I don't think that you guys could ever just be pigeonholed, even from album to album, especially as a whole, your whole discography. There's a lot of variety there. And
Mm,
I think like when you look at that, you'd have to ask like what got you into like making music? Like obviously you make heavy music, but there's a lot of pop elements, there's a lot of electronic elements, there's a big mixed palette. So how does that journey start for both of y'all? Because I mean, obviously you guys both have a shared taste of like similar genres and what you're conveying in your music, but you're also like implementing those influences into your music. So like I guess we just take it back to square one. Like what artists growing up were you listening to going like, man, I want to do this for the rest of my life?
I mean, for me, I don't really listen to heavy music. I've said that a billion times before. She loves heavy stuff. So, I mean, that's cool. But we tend to always just make, even our poppy stuff has heavy elements, you know what I mean, with how all over the place it all is. But I mean, you'll catch me listening to Chicago or like Fleetwood Mac or Brand New or Manchester Orchestra or something well before you hear me put something on with heavier elements. So I don't really know what transpired that I started writing heavier stuff. It's just what I did when I started the band, and we just kind of stuck with it. It just kind of fits. And I think with the heavier stuff, it gives me the freedom to I feel like having the bass heavy gives me the freedom as far as writing is concerned to put in any other element. Like I can go soft as I want at certain parts. I feel like once I have like the heavy aspect of it, it gives me like a opening to experiment more with these other genres than if I originally started writing music like Manchester Orchestra or something way lighter. It's way harder for someone to digest a band like that, just randomly throwing in complete chaos than a chaotic band throwing in soft stuff, you know? Does that make
Yeah.
sense? Or does it just make sense to me right now as I'm saying that?
I mean, it's your process, man. We're here to dissect it and try to make sense of it. I
But,
mean, if you feel like
I feel like it gives me having that heavy bass just gives me more freedom experimenting with the other basses. And you love heavy stuff. You listen to everything too.
Yeah, that's just my musical preference. So it was easy for me. Want to sing this? I was like, yeah, that would be fun for me.
it's got everything she needs to. She's like, yeah, this is
Yeah,
heavy
it's
enough for me. I got
exciting.
it. Yeah. So like, what were artists like that got you into heavy music?
Um, hmm. I think the first time I heard screaming,
Hmm.
I thought that that was like the most. I don't even. Okay, so I remember it happening, but it was Linkin Park was the first screaming I ever heard.
No judgment. There's no judgment here at
I mean,
all
I was in
because
the car with my parents, so it wasn't like we were doing anything like weird, but it was on the radio, and when I heard it, I was like, is that like that's so wildly different? And I like loved like the emotional part of it. I was like, that's so expressive. Like, I think
yeah.
that that's so much passion in one little like ounce. I like got goosebumps and was like, that's like the best thing ever. So I think I just slowly progressed from it was like Linkin Park, and then it was oh gosh, the one with the singer that's the drummer.
Let's call it the Under Oath.
Well, them two. They were great when I was young. But it was one other one.
Who has a drummer singer? Oh,
Yeah,
Atreyu.
Atreyu. Atreyu was
Yeah.
next. I got like hooked on Atreyu, and
Oh
then it was
yeah.
like ever since then it was like Under Oath, and then it just went down a rabbit hole and like never listened to anything else.
Pretty
Atreyu,
much
just two
similar
albums.
story. I mean, it's kind of strange when you think about because nowadays, if you were to hear screaming on the radio, it'd be kind of weird, I think, because back then when Linkin Park was in its heyday, back when you could listen to it on the radio, that was like what
Hmm.
was commonly pushed. And nowadays, that's not really like rock doesn't really have that mainstream appeal anymore, where you're gonna just find it like randomly somewhere where your parents and yourself can just access it. Like nowadays, it's more of a curated experience where you got to kind of seek that
You
information out.
gotta find it. Yeah, I thought it
Yeah.
would be opposite. I thought that it would like come to be more normalized, and I guess I don't know, I guess not.
I feel like we're getting to that point. I think with like,
Yeah.
yeah, I think so. Bands like Bad Omens and
Knock loose.
Falling Reverse, stuff like that. Like the direction those bands are going, I can see taking more of a mainstream, like bringing the rock to the mainstream and being more digestible and acceptable, especially with TikTok and shit these days.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
I mean, I remember the
I,
first screaming I ever heard was The Used, and I
oh
had
yeah.
never listened to any kind of heavy music, and I honestly bought that album the Taste of Ink and everything. I bought that album randomly at Target. I don't know why the hell I thought the cover looked cool because it was completely out of my taste or my preference. I just bought it for no damn reason. I remember that it was like on sale or something. Just something. And I had it with my little CD player in the back seat of my parents' car, and I remember that first track. That's way. That's the intro, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Making
I took
memories.
my head. I whipped it across the car because I was like so snow. It's like startled
Scared
me.
the
I never heard any screaming ever
But I thought
before.
you said that you heard it and then you bought it.
No,
No?
I didn't even know what it was. I just bought it randomly. That's
That's
how I got
so
into heavy
weird.
music.
Okay, you just liked the cover?
I
That's why you
something,
bought it?
yeah. I remember thinking that cover was cool, and there was some reason. Maybe I saw like a part of let me see, it's 4 o'clock in the fucking okay, maybe one of their more I think now that I'm thinking back that on MTV or something, one of the poppier songs was on there. I saw a video clip, like a 30-second one in like one of those combination commercials where it shows a couple seconds of like artists, and it was something without any screaming. So it was like a poppier thing. So I think I went there and saw the cover. I was like, that's that band from that with that like poppy ass cool chorus. So I didn't know
Yeah.
what the hell I was getting into. And I literally remember being startled and yeeting my CD, portable CD player, and my little over-the-ear fluffy cheap headphones with a little metal bracket across the car because I didn't know what the hell, it just hit me out of nowhere. I never would have expected anything to sound like that. I never heard anything like that before. And then from there, I went into, I was heavily into that album for a bit. That, and then I got really into him and AFI. There's no screaming in
Yeah.
him. I was even in rock. Like that's how I went into rock. Before that, I mean, listen to shit like MXPX and shit. I was raised in a born again Christian household. My dad's a pastor. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
MXPX was like my first kind of rocky concert, but I never listened to anything like the darker metal or anything. I remember even like going into him and getting really into them, and like old AFI was really taboo for me. Like I almost felt like I was sinning, you know what I mean? But it's kind of,
Mhm.
but I loved it, you know. So
This seems
For
dangerous.
yes,
anybody,
that's how it felt. It
yeah.
felt wrong.
And for anybody unfamiliar, because you gotta remember when you're a teenager and you have songs thinking about like 666 or
That
Oh my
they're
I
God.
talking
would
about
skip
stuff
it.
like that. It's like oogie boogie because that's not allowed in your household. If my mom and dad heard me listening to this, I'd be in trouble. But it's kind of like walking on the wild side. And I think nowadays it's just kind of like you watch what on TikTok? Like you have like this random thing came up in your algorithm, and now that's your fixation for the month. Like it was a different kind of like absorption back in the day where
Way
you'd have
different.
30-second clips. Like I mean, I think even you guys experienced that when you were on Victory Records, where you just have these little samplers where they show like 10-second clips of bands and they're just all hoping that that popular band at the front of the clip show is going to make everybody watch every other
Yeah.
band on that.
And
And
Victory
it's
was
just
well
like,
known for like the samplers, the CD samplers, where they would
yeah.
play like their bigger bands like A Day to Remember, Taking Back Sunday, all of that, and they would put them all on the samplers in the front. They would hand out tens of thousands of physical samplers. They have a huge street team at every big concert, at every show,
Mhm.
and then we would be mixed in song 8, song 9, and that's how a lot of people found us back then. It was like grassroots,
Yeah. And
promotion like that.
it's kind of scary to think that it's not really a thing anymore when you think
Things have
about it. Like people do
changed. Mhm.
compilations, but it's like, here, share this link.
Exactly.
It's not like a physical copy that's like proof positive, and it's not being handed out to a curated audience that's like, well, these people are here for music, so maybe hopefully this music seeking person's going to sit here and listen to me.
Oh yeah, what would even do? Like, I mean, I would think 95% of people or like 90 that you hand a CD to at a friggin' show, they won't have anything to do with it. What are they gonna do? Put it, I mean, my
You
PC
can't put
doesn't
a
even
CD,
take discs. Like,
right?
what do you like? I mean, I
It was
guess a lot of people have
horrifying.
older cars maybe these days, but I don't remember the last time I had a CD player.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
in the car.
I like
Like,
collecting CDs. I do have a CD player, but I had to go out and buy one because I learned my PS4 and my PS5 are just like, get that CD. What is a CD? What are you talking
it
about?
doesn't
You
even
can't
know what
even.
that
They
is.
won't play them? I didn't know that. I thought they would.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Mm-mm. It's horrifying. It's also
Wow.
horrifying when stuff like you can't even play DVDs or anything if you don't have an internet connection. It's kind of it makes me miss my DVD player because physical media, while it's still an essential thing for bands, like because vinyl's like a dead media technically, if you think about it, because it went out of fashion for CDs, but now it's still here as a collector's item thing where most people are just buying
Mhm.
them just to have them on a shelf. So, I mean, some people play
They buy
vinyls.
them
I mean,
because
I
they're
don't know.
pretty.
Yeah, but it's scary to think about, just the fact that like just from back when you guys even started or when you growing up, just the way that music changes is
Mhm.
alarming. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of your guys' success. I mean, I did a poll in the Bunny the Bear posting, which is a great group on Facebook. If anybody wants to join, they should probably join. But it's a lot of your fans said they found you guys through YouTube, which has been around since like 2006, which is like the early advent of the internet. But I think like you guys have like a bunch of videos over 1 million plays and stuff like that. How has like from the early days of like you guys starting out on YouTube to now, have you guys noticed anything different in like your YouTube?
I mean, to be honest, I feel like I put using that like using YouTube and music videos. Kind of been more of a back burner the last few years until just recent with like this whole rebrand. I didn't really see the importance too much anymore. I don't feel like it's as relevant to be spending thousands of dollars. I felt like it was important for like this whole new era and like showing what it's about and the image and the vibes. It felt like a good way of putting that out. But I don't know because I really haven't been active. We honestly I didn't even have access to Bunny the Bear's YouTube until a couple months ago. I haven't had it for years.
That's
Like,
crazy to hear.
yeah,
Like, did you guys start the YouTube and like hand it over to a record label, or did
yeah.
like someone really?
Handed it over to Victory.
How?
Victory, and then they sold all their shit to Concord a few years back. And in that, so much got lost in like translation in that deal. The bunnythebear.com, I own that too. That was good. You know, I gave access to Victory. They must have renewed it. Someone owns it somewhere. I think Concord is probably in a list of millions of email addresses they own from like buying out labels somewhere. So I'm working on trying to get that right now. But all that just kind of disappeared. So with that, it kind of fell on the back burner. I made a separate, like a couple years back, I made like a separate new Bunny and Bear YouTube channel, but it always just felt like every time uploading something new, it was kind of like it was bittersweet. I didn't even want to be doing it because I knew we had this other channel with tens of thousands of followers. And it just felt kind of almost like pointless. It was always like, oh, let's figure out how to get the actual YouTube channel back. And we finally did, which is great. But, you know, so I really couldn't give like any kind of real, no, I've seen this change with like our YouTube views or like the band's videos because it hasn't
Got it.
been, yeah, and it hasn't
We
been an
just
important
don't-
factor.
That's such a big step though. So we have it now.
Yeah.
That's all. It's a good like because it sucks to hear that you would have to give something away and then like they're just like, well, it's part of this deal. You guys get lost in the shuffle with all the other bands that have been ever been on this label that we just sold everything
Yeah.
to.
They
It's a
took
little
Isle
disheartening.
too, like our video for Isle, which is our first big song anyone knew. That was released. The actual master in the video is a without like Isle was like a staple song on our first Victory album, but
Mhm.
we had released it like a separate master right before signing the Victory, and we released the video beforehand.
Mhm.
Somehow they claimed that too all these years, and that's the one that one's got almost 2 million views on it. And I literally just got the copyright taken off of it and just got it back just like a month ago from Concord. And they didn't even Victory should have never had the rights to that. It wasn't their master. It wasn't from a Victory release. But another
Right.
thing that kind of just got sucked into that whole we own ya, we're your daddy
Yeah.
now thing, you know?
Yeah, that's crazy to think, man. Like, and given that how long you guys have been going and the kind of hardships, it's like you guys have been given every excuse that most bands are like, you know what? Fuck it, we're gonna give up. Let's just fold it up. Like you persevere and overcome that, and you're
Yes.
just like, lineup changes, fuck it, whatever. I write all the songs anyway. Let's just keep going.
I've had to keep that mindset. Yeah, I've always been that. It's always been like I've always been like band daddy and like this is how it's going and this if I haven't this if this band would have been a band because it's even weird. It's weird too. It's always been weird over the years calling the Bunny and the Bear a band because until I mean we got a more secured like lineup now, but we never really did before. We did when we first signed to Victory. I had like set members, but there were never other songwriters or anything, so it just didn't really make sense, especially once we started changing musicians. It was more of just like my project, especially over all those years. Um, so I didn't, you know, you kind of I had to have that mentality. This was like, I lived and breathed this band. This is what I did. Matthew Tiber is the Bunny the Bear. This is what I did. I'm not gonna, I mean, anyone coming in and out, I wasn't gonna like, oh, I'm just gonna pack it up because I have to find a new person to play the song I wrote on guitar for me, I guess. You know what I mean? It wouldn't make
Yeah.
sense not to keep going. I mean, just I lived and breathed this. Everyone else is, you know, just there were other people on this journey that helped in many different ways and had their place in
Yeah.
time, which, you know, and I appreciate there's many people I owe thanks to and I appreciate. And, you know,
Yeah.
but when it
It's
came
not
down
like
to it,
you
this is my
Yeah. It's
my
not like you've
livelihood.
never Yeah. It's not like you've never credited anybody. Everybody's in their production notes, and it's like
Mhm.
it's always been a collaborative kind of it's like, I don't think there's anything wrong with that, I don't think I think it's like an identity behind the brand. It's the moral like statement. Like this is what the Bunny the Bear is always going to be. It's going to be some random eclectic heavy synth or heavy pop, or just it's going to be random as fuck, but it's also going to just have it's going to be undeniably the Bunny the Bear.
Yeah, I mean it's not just a band to me. It is me. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
any of those things that you said, you had to do this or get past this or overcome this or deal with it. I mean, it all literally just seemed like another day to me because there was no this band stopping was never an option. It never would be.
Yeah.
And now it's a family business.
I mean, you brought it home and now it lives with you.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, it's great.
I have been enjoying just watching y'all like do house chores and feeding your animals while wearing the masks and stuff. I think that's like really wholesome, and it just kind of is. It's cool to just be able to see like your property, man. You got a nice ass house.
Yeah, we are super blessed. It's just another step. We both that's the nice thing about like when me and Brooke met, I feel like we were very much on the same page with I think our long-term goals and like things we'd like to accomplish in places like what we want to develop as a family. Um, and this us getting this property in this home is just a great blessing. It's everything I've ever dreamed of. I mean, it's awesome. It's just quiet, it's relaxing, it's beautiful, there's tons of space. Uh, we can do anything here. We can't run out of things to do here. And it's all just peaceful. It's a peaceful, beautiful place.
That's good. Don't let anybody invade your peace, man, and just enjoy it. Like it's fun to watch y'all just thrive.
I appreciate it, man.
Of course. So, I guess that would bring us to talking about the new music you guys just recently released, "In the Fields," and I'm digging it. This is, I believe you guys had a couple singles before this one. Is this like working towards an album, or are you guys just dropping singles, seeing what fits, or what's going on in the new music direction?
Working on a bunch of stuff. We're probably wrapping up what do you think, like 4 EPs right now, probably, I would say at least. Uh right now the Bunny and Bear is more songs like in progress than we ever had. And we always were like a super consistent band with like dropping music and dropping. And we were like, I remember back in the day compliments because like we always every year had a new album out, a new full length out, and a lot of bands didn't do that. They do every 2 years, every 3 years. We were really consistent with Victory, and now I feel like it's just so much more. We have a lot we're working on. It's great. So I'd say probably about 4 EPs, and I just want to drop them back to back. We just dropped. I mean, you said we just previously dropped music, so we dropped a few. We dropped like a 4-song EP.
Mm.
That's a shame EP, and that was kind of I had Garcia back singing on that. Um, for that, and during that whole process, this whole situation kind of like naturally developed. So we kind of threw her on like the last, like 2 of the songs, I think, but a lot on the last song of the That's a Shame EP because I wanted to kind of cater in like this idea to like longtime fans of like someone else being in the mix. It was like a stepping stone, that final song we dropped with like some of her and some of Garcia on it, and then me, of course. I wanted to get people kind of comfortable with her being there. And then we just decided to start blasting shit out. So I mean, we have a ton. We dropped In the Fields, and now we're just gonna keep dropping singles. I mean, I'm hoping to drop at least 1 single a month, and I would like to do that for the next couple of years. Just be super consistent.
It's a solid plan, and I think that could work out for you guys like really well. The reception for In the Fields has been pretty cool. Just the way that video is shot, by the way, that thing's beautiful. Like just lots of cool like cinematography and camera tricks, like using a bike wheel and like filming through it. Just like lots of cool stuff done with that. Shout out to Flynn. I know Flynn directed that. It was Tom Flynn, correct?
Mhm. Yep.
Confidence,
That's
awesome.
awesome. Yeah. Do you guys have any cool stories to share about recording that?
The
Don't you
video?
dare.
What? Oh,
No.
can we tell that story?
You can, but you can't show it.
Okay, I won't show it. Do you want to tell it?
No, definitely not. I don't even want to hear it over again, but there's definitely stories from the filming of that,
Okay.
for sure.
Give me a kiss now in case you hate me after.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So,
I mean, I'm the one who reminded you, so it would be essentially my fault anyways.
okay, so as you see in the video, I was transformed with prosthetics into a bunny.
Yeah.
The original idea was to transform her into a bear. I wanted like humanoid creatures. And now listen, we had
Oh my god.
we had amazing teamwork on that video. They're great makeup artists. They're amazing. They're fabulous. So this is not has nothing to do with their talent or anything like that. So they're transforming her into a bear. I'm going to the store to buy her, I don't know, a wig. Wig.
Well, no. Bear ears.
Oh, bear ears.
They didn't have any bear ears. I was gonna have a bear face without ears. That made no sense. So he went to go try and find bear ears.
And I'm out there with like one of my musicians and one of the band members, and I just start getting blown up. Just devastation. Blown up. Okay, somewhere in translate, like we wanted like a sexy humanoid bear. Like you could probably see like alien-esque almost. Like I wanted the sex appeal to still be there. But somewhere between like Tom, who was directing the video, and like the makeup team, they thought we wanted like a scary, like bear, like
in the middle of the woods.
Serious, like
just
monster
creature.
And she's calling me Ryan from the bathroom where we're shooting the video and sending me photos. She locked herself in the bathroom and she said she cannot be in the video. They turned her into a terrifying bear with this huge eyebrows that come out like this, like a huge like forehead. And it was great makeup. It was great, but it was not what we were going for at all. Like not at all. So literally I'm just driving back and I have this girl, she's like, I can't do it. I can't be in the video. No, I can't do it. I cannot be seen. Do it without me. Just complete meltdown. And I'm like, I was gone for 10 minutes. You know what I mean? The whole thing's falling apart. So we have her like sneak outside and meet the director, and we're like trying to talk to him. And he's like, no, I see what you're talking about. This is not the direction where you're going, this and that. So that's why she ended up being more just a little kind of alien looking, but human looking in the video. She was supposed to be a bear, but we did not have any more prosthetics, and we didn't have the right ones. They had gotten like aggressive prosthetics, and for her, she didn't look like a female anymore. She looked like a humanoid bear. We have a photo, which I can't show you, but I will save it into maybe I'll hang one in my studio.
Don't dare.
So I just look at it and laugh and chuckle like every time I just need a laugh. But they did great. She looked terrifying. It was just very aggressive and very masculine, and not what we were going for. But that is a good video story right there. Is that it was almost went just flushed. Like there was straight a moment there where I think you want to disappear.
I mean, you got to put yourself out there, and the internet is forever. And, sometimes people don't want to put themselves out there in such a way. And I mean, if it was unflattering and made her feel such distress, I mean, you can't, what are you going to do? Twist her arm?
Well, I mean, that's it too. It's not that it wasn't a great makeup, it just not, it wasn't.
It was my first introduction into everybody seeing me be the bear the first time. They were going to be like, that. What? What?
Exactly. It wasn't what we were going for. Yeah.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have been flattering in that aspect. And it wasn't what we were trying to sell, either. So it just got lost somewhere in translation, I think, where they just thought they wanted that like beastly.
I will say the bunny is pretty horrifying in that video, so I can only imagine
scarier.
Like, yeah. I think that's like, oh well. The bunny was like, the bunnies, I think that was always the dynamic, like whether it was intentional or not, that, like in nature, a bear is a much scarier, louder and screamier and than a bunny. But, in this regard, I can imagine, the bunny being a little more held back and the bear being more monstrous enough to upset somebody. I mean, I can only imagine.
Oh, I would have been the cute one in a video. I mean, her brows were in a different time zone. They were.
Yeah,
And
that and he never ended up being able to even find bear ears. So it was like not right.
So
yeah.
it would
Like
just been
without
like
ears.
you just been brow the bunny the brow.
Yeah.
Yeah, beer mixed with a hammerhead shark. Ah,
Just looking like a Klingon from freaking Star Trek. It can only yeah.
yes,
Oh,
kind of actually.
The bunny the Klingon, it's just the world wasn't ready for that. And you can't force nobody to be ready for the bunny the Klingon.
Not at all. I don't think we ever could. But I mean, man, like I said, though, we did the whole video. We had an amazing team. Everyone involved was absolutely amazing and professional and kind and considerate. And it was
10 out of 10 for
yeah,
the team.
they were
I
all great.
definitely, I told him when we left, I was like, I would use them every time. Every time. They were great.
I would definitely recommend it if you're watching this interview and you haven't seen that music video, please pause the interview right now. We'll wait for you. We'll stay right here. Go watch that video, come back, and then just imagine brows. I'm just
Yes. Imagine her face being like literally browner than this.
My
And
whole,
just
yep.
it was scary.
Well, there was like textures and prosthetics and different like colors mixed in. So it was a whole thing, but it was not girly in any way.
No.
I didn't look like a lady anymore.
No.
the bunny, the lady. That's what we got. And
That's
I'm
what you
not gonna
got.
lie. I mean, you got her flying around in the music video. I think that's pretty cool. Still, I mean, it's a good visual, especially just for how like ethereal that song comes off. It's got good stuff going on. It fits the vibe, I think.
I appreciate that, man. We really love it. It's definitely probably one of my favorite, if not favorite, of our music videos.
Definitely, definitely. So with this music video that you guys just dropped, are there plans for more music videos? Do you guys have anything hidden in the pockets? Like you plan on releasing new singles, so I'm just so curious.
So, to be honest, this first EP, I didn't plan on dropping in Fields for months. We dropped it literally overnight, 48-hour notice. And it's because we were getting some publicity for something that happened on one of our live shows. It just
Really,
seemed like a good,
whatever could have happened at one of these shows.
yes, exactly. Whatever happened at a Bunny the Bear show. They're always known for going over so smoothly. But we were getting some publicity. And I was like, everyone's talking about us right now. We might as well just give them something. And we had this amazing video. So we just like kind of dropped it. So I originally planned on having a bunch of videos shot for this 5-song EP we're in the middle of releasing now. Well, in the early stages of releasing. And we didn't have anything planned out, no marketing plan, anything. So we just gave it to you guys because everyone was chit chatting about us. You're gonna be getting another single in a few weeks. Aside from that, we do have plans to shoot one more video for this current EP, hopefully within like the next 2 to 3 weeks, and we're gonna get that out to you. But nothing in the back burner. We're just on the fly now, and now we're just making shit happen.
Yeah, because you guys are an independent band right now. I know you have your own record label. I believe it's Tough Luck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're releasing everything through Tough Luck Music right now, and we're gonna keep it that way. We're just like I said, we have so many songs in work. We don't really need a
Yeah.
label's budget. We've been working with like private investors and other stuff like that for
Mhm.
these releases and give us what we need to actually get this shit done and spend the time we want to really working on it. So nothing
Yeah.
else we really need. There's no reason not to.
How do you guys like, given your time and tenure, how would you compare working independent to working under a record label?
I enjoy. Okay, so I prefer a label in a lot. Listen, I prefer a label just because there's way less for me to do. I got so much all the time going on, and we already got to get done. But it is nice having like a team of like 20 people and having someone who handles setting. You're just setting up this. They're saying you need to be on this interview at this time. You need to be here at this time. You need to answer these questions and back me by this date. They are shooting you email reminders. They're handling all that day-to-day shit that it's like now, that is part of being independent. It's like it's a lot more that you're doing. So it is nice having a team of people working with you. instead of feeling like everything's just working against you, just working, you know. Um, Aside from that, I don't think, I mean, it's nice at the same time not having anyone to really answer to, you know, we could just do whatever we want to do whenever we want to do it. There's pros and
Yeah,
cons, I think, of that, you know.
of course. But I mean, um, like if you guys were like, I mean, you can always just shoot in the dark. Like, if you guys were to ever like work with a label again, would there be anything, because given your past experiences, would there be anything that you'd be like, well, I don't want to do this, I don't want to get trapped in this kind of situation ever again?
Not really. I mean, I signed with Victory Records. Come on, they're notorious for, and I finished my whole contract. Not many bands do with Victory. I feel like we had a pretty good relationship because I understand the business side of it. So it's not like I wouldn't want to be locked in something again. I'm always well
Hmm.
aware of what I'm signing. It's just I look at
Yeah.
it from a business side and whether it's beneficial and whether, what I'm going to be losing in this is worth the end goal and how much it's going to help me get to that goal. So I don't really have anything with the victory stuff that I could even say, oh, no, I wouldn't do that again. I very much understand what comes with signed to a label.
Yeah.
Even in the worst case situation of like a really
Yeah.
crazy 360 deal or something like that. And I just think it really
Yeah.
just depends on what you need at the time and whether you're willing to do it. I mean, we would definitely sign to a label again. If they want to give us some money, let's go. I mean, it's business. Like, I mean, if they can help us get this vision out to more people too, that's great. But right now we're in a time and a place where I think we have a really well working machine just to put out like the current things we have lined up. And then maybe when we're done with these couple EPs or if someone comes knocking, we'll reevaluate and see where our long term goals are and what will help us get there,
Yeah.
make it a
What's
smoother.
in the fine print?
Yeah, I guess that too. I mean, I'm not gonna give like my next child up or something, but uh it really is all that really matters. I mean, you know what you're getting into usually when you sign the labels.
Yeah, you
You,
just gotta read.
you either need the money to get it done, and that it's all it is. It's a bank with connections. I mean, the connections are nice sometimes. Having
Yeah.
someone to just reach out and say, "We want them on this tour, make it happen," and they respect this label, and they have that. Like, the music industry is all just who you know and who's okay with you and cool with you and who's not, and this and it really is it's a big community, but it's a tight knit community in certain areas. So it's nice having
Uh,
that. It's great having that. It's not a bad thing at all. If that could help us get somewhere, get something done, and I say it's worth it.
oh yeah. I like that. That's like a realistic approach to it. It's not some sugar coated bullshit. It's just like,
It's a bank loan, man.
yeah,
Yeah, that's all it
glorified credit
is.
card.
It literally is. If you have good credit and or you have the money, you don't need a record label.
Yeah,
Money talks.
pretty much. Because it's
Yeah.
like pretty much like they just have a guy in a department that would have to do what you have to do for yourself.
Yeah, and they're just advancing all that and taking it back out of your sales anyway. So if you had that money up front, what do you need?
Right.
You don't need that.
I mean that's it's I think usually just with like other than bank loans, like record labels are basically just like a network of people that they're connected with or just know, or like we know John
Yeah.
Bob over there, he books tours with Billy Joe over there. And
Well, and it's interesting for me to say because I own a record label, but I think the way like my label presents itself and works with artists, where it's different. I mean, we're very much like a label that helps develop. We have a band right now that's about to sign a deal right off of us to a really big friggin' label, a really amazing deal. I'm so happy for them. But that's what I always want my label to be is, it's a label of musicians for musicians more so than anything. I mean, yes, business is important and I do have to make good business choices because I have a family and we have bills to pay and everything else. But more so than anything, I just think that we provide things that will help new artists just get to where they need to be, where then they can make the choice whether they want to carry on by themselves
yeah,
or move on to like a bigger label. I just want them to get to that point where they can be independent in their choices and
yeah,
not need to rely on someone for the help.
yeah,
We're more of just like a learning curve for bands, I
yeah.
think.
I think that's the goal of like any educator, you know, someone with the actual intention of like instilling some like education into somebody is just kind of like, I need you to be like, I'm not teaching you this so you can come back to me and ask me every week. I'm teaching you this so you can be self-sufficient enough to where you don't need to come ask me every week, like what's going on, where you kind of just have your own like viewpoints. And it's just like, well, based on what, you know, what Matt said, I should be doing this.
And that's what my label's there for. I mean, that's literally our goal. We're there just to help develop these artists into going off on their own. It's like us raising our children. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like I'm getting to
I'm,
a point where you can do this. You know, I'm always
I
there
mean,
if you need something, but I want you to be able to do this shit by yourself. And then if you need to go, if you want to go to someone bigger, then that's, you know, that's awesome. I want you guys to succeed. And that's why we only mess with bands we actually believe in. I don't just sign 50 bands a month and whatever. We're
yeah.
very specific. So
I get it. I mean, I do band promo myself, wink, wink. But you know, I it's always my goal though. It's because like kind of just like, well, this is stuff I know, and if you know it, then we both know it, and then we can kind of work with this new information that we both have learned to try to like learn something else to help both of us.
yeah.
And it's always a pleasant experience to just like mutually beneficial. I don't think I like anything, any label or any person in music that's just like, well, it's gonna benefit me. Good luck to you. Maybe it'll trickle down on you. Maybe one day. I don't know.
Well,
I
that's how a
don't.
lot of
That's
people are,
never.
though, too. There's a lot of
That's unfortunate.
gatekeepers in our industry, too, and a lot of people gatekeeping, and that those are labels that I don't support. If they're just locking you in, this is it. Like, I don't want you to grow past what we're willing to give you. Like, that's different. I want to give them these resources to do things, and I want them to be far past even, you don't even need to remember me. You know what I mean? Just like, I want you to get to that point where you can do all this stuff yourself. I'm not trying to gatekeep my connections or my knowledge or like, I'm trying to teach you, and I want you to go in and do what you want with it. And, you know, I want you to succeed.
Hell yeah, Matt.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, I think we've got to the portion of the interview where we can look into fan questions. What do you guys think?
Sounds good to me.
Awesome. Let's see. I'm going to pull up our trusty handy dandy the bunny the bear posting, which is on Facebook. And if you guys haven't joined, you probably should. Anyway,
Thought I did.
Perfect.
Maybe.
the first question comes from Logan Laidlaw. From the beginning of your career until now, what has changed you the most, artistically and personally?
Artistically, I don't know. I mean, I don't feel like the band, artistically, I feel like the band's kind of, like, I don't feel like there's much, it's been a natural growth. I don't feel like there's like a specific thing that's changed. I just feel like as I've aged, maybe my thought process and just my taste has kind of changed too.
Hmm.
And it's been a natural progression. I don't think there's anything specific that's really developed this band to a sound. I just feel like it's just a natural development of where I am at that place in my life. There's not like a specific growth pattern or anything like that. Individually, I feel like everything's changed me. It's been a long 17, almost 17 years now. It's 16, 17 years. Uh, Us meeting was a pivotal change for me, I think. I think with the band too, especially, I think I was kind of at a point where I didn't even know what the heck I was really doing it sometimes anymore. I was just, it's all I know how to do. Like I told you, this is my life. So going out, paying the bills. But I feel like for a little, there was a hot moment there where that like fire I had for it wasn't exactly there. It was more of a, this is what I do. You know what I mean? I think meeting her, a lot of that changed for me. She gave me a whole new perspective on a lot of things in life. And it kind of fired me back up. Like now I'm like, I mean, you know, if you look at the band's even releases, like there was a couple year period where Afterglow came out, but it wasn't the Bunny and Bear. There wasn't consistent music coming out. It was a couple years had passed, you know what I mean? And I just was kind of floating there. I was going and playing a couple shows here and there and enough to keep me afloat, but I wasn't really feeling that like burning passion. Meeting her changed that for me. That was nice. And it just gave me a bunch of like driving my ideas back. I feel like our relationship and who I became like in my personal life, I think is bleeding into my music. my music and just like the band in general and like what I want to do. And like I'm setting my eyes at like different goals now because of how I changed personally from like in the last few years of being with my wife, which is kind of
Mhm.
sappy and I guess maybe cheesy, but it's real.
The bu Yeah, the bunny, the wholesome. It's okay.
It's real. It definitely reignited a flame in me that I want, where I actually had like an interest again, like a drive, and didn't feel like so just like
Well,
numb going through it.
it's a beautiful thing, and I'm glad you're thankful for it. That's awesome to hear, man.
Yeah, I like want to do these things again. And I'm finding the enjoyment I had like in the beginning, like the passion where like we're going places. I want to go see things. I don't want to just sit in a vehicle, to have to go on stage and just like go up and play. It's not so mundane anymore. I feel like I'm back to being like my first time seeing the world. I want to try this and do this and like, oh, I want to go and yeah. So I don't know.
Hell
So
yeah.
touring is
Um,
way more fun that way.
Touring is. I was at a point where I was just, I think for years I was in like just like a cycled or like my life. I was just in a place where it wasn't, I was just, yeah, I wasn't
You just go on
excited.
stage and
Yeah.
then go to the next venue.
Yeah,
Go on stage.
get to the venue. I'd lock myself in the vehicle or the green room. So I went on stage, have a couple drinks, go on stage, do it all again the next day. I wasn't as passionate about it as I used to be, or I am now, especially. I feel like I'm in a much better place in that aspect of things, where I'm really just enjoying the experience.
yeah. It kind of just became like another night at the circus kind of thing.
Literally, I mean, it's just what I did is like work. It was just,
Yeah,
the fun aspect wasn't really there anymore.
going through the motions type beat.
Yeah, because what else am I gonna do? I gotta pay the bills. I got stuff to do. I gotta eat. I gotta pay my car payment. But
Gotta
now
be
I'm like, I
dedicated.
want to do this because I want to do this. Like, I was excited. This is fun. Like, I'm
Hell yeah.
having fun with my best friend doing these things. So,
Well, I don't think you can answer that question any better than that. I think we can move on to our next one. Chris Nageli asks, "What was the idea behind using masks and using the bunny the bear as a name?"
it was
I think
completely random. Yeah, there was no, I was literally, I can see myself right now in my bedroom at my computer table writing some wacky ass song. And I was like, I'm gonna start a band called the Bunny the Bear. And it just came to me like that. I wasn't high, I wasn't drunk, nothing. I was dead sober. It wasn't just a crazy fever dream. I'm gonna start a band called the Bunny the Bear and run around in a plastic kid's bunny mask. That'd be so funny. And now I'm gonna be doing it till I'm 100. So it wasn't meant to be something serious. It was just meant, it was
I
like one
mean
of my random ideas that was just
I
You
think
goofy.
actually
what
ran with.
Yeah, and I
yeah,
ran with it. And I thought I'd just
like
walk
a
with a
bunny.
little and be fun. But it just, it went way further than I ever imagined. Ever, 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 ever. It was just for shits and giggles.
So like in 2000, what, 28? That'll be you've been doing this for like 20 years, huh?
I started 2008, 18, 28. Yeah.
That's 3 years away.
Isn't that crazy?
Think about it. Yeah, if you think about it, man, it's just to put that much time and energy into that and just to keep it going. Most people can't they can't meet that. And that's admirable quality, I would say.
Well, with anything in life, how many people stay in anything, like the same job for that long, you go to the same hairstylist for that long, stay in a relationship even a quarter of that long in this day and age. So it is crazy thinking that like I've dedicated 2 decades of my life to this.
Yeah. Well, I think there's a lot of people that have stuck along and hung around on that journey for because just one thing I've noticed just from this little group called the Bunny the Bear posting, there's a lot of people that have just been like following this at like a cult like level. I don't want to say you guys are asking people to drink Kool-Aid or anything, but I think that just the energy and just the bunny the bear itself has somehow kept people like entranced.
Which is insane with like the history of the band, the ups, the downs, member changes. A lot of people need that. They need that consistent, even if people aren't already in the band, they want that consistent image of the band. They want that consistent singer. They want this. And some people just completely abandon the band, even if their replacements are great. You know what I mean? It's like people like consistency and they like knowing what to expect. So it's, and I say that all the time. I always say that I'm very fortunate and blessed because I've maintained the same fan base, and like I always call it like a culty following that I'm like so blessed to have, because if they've been there since the beginning, there'll always be those people that have been there and they haven't left, which is crazy. That's absolutely nuts. Think about this band and how like dyslexic our albums can be, and like from album to album, from song to song, our member changes, this news, that news, this, that, and these people are just like, oh, I'm with you.
Hell yeah.
With no consistency as far as they don't know what to expect next, but they're still here. That's awesome. That's amazing.
Maybe that's part of it. Maybe the just the wild like randomness of it all. It's just like, well, there's always something going on with the bunny the bear.
The excitement factor. That's what keeps them coming back for more. What are we gonna get?
Yeah, but these people are
It's like a
genuine.
wonder ball. What's in a wonder ball?
The bunny, the bear, the lore. The lore of the bunny the bear. You can't beat it, man. It's like
Yeah.
it's like a true crime thing, man. Like people just want to like. There's all this tons. Like, I mean, you guys have been on like you guys have done interviews with, some people that people just don't want, like, don't even talk about anymore. I mean, I think that was the Brian Stars interview. That was just like the most random fucking interview in the world, and somehow it's still there. And it's just like the internet is a snapshot. It's just there's different eras of you just in all kinds of interviews online, and I'm thankful you guys are here.
I'm thankful that we're here too. Very
All
much
right.
so.
Let's see. Next question. I don't think this is a real name, but Player Legacy asks, why does Lush Touch Seed say Lush Touch Speed on Spotify?
I don't know. I mean, guess what? I could probably fix it with a couple of emails, but I've just been too lazy to, I guess. It wasn't that important to me. It is, though. When I think about it, it bothers the shit out of me. I don't know who. It just randomly changed like a year or two ago. Like, they just changed on different streaming platforms. They changed seed to speed. And I don't know how it happened. Those songs have been out. No variations come out or anything where there would even be a change. Someone went into a system to that song and just changed one letter. Like, just
No
just to
reason.
troll? I don't know who did it or why. Someone had to physically do that. I don't
I
know. I don't know. The song's called
yeah,
Let's Touch Seed, though, not Speed, guys.
yeah. I think the Bled had a song called it was on the Fountain of Flood, and it was mixed up between My Assassin and Antarctica. And for like 6 years, it was just these two songs were switched, even to the point where lyric sites were even mixing them up. And then they like barely changed it like this year. And it's just a weird thing where, as you said, when record labels just absorb giant other record labels, and then it's just somebody that doesn't care or doesn't take the time to curate what they're doing. It's thrown out
Maybe
there
that's where
randomly.
it happened. Maybe it did. Well, in the Concord changeover, because Let's Touch Seed is on. Did I put it? It's on if you don't have anything nice to say. I have so many albums. It's like, what album is it on? I need to know now because that would make some sense. I don't. My Face ID
So
doesn't
with
work.
with
They
the
would have had to
changeover.
re-enter in. So I would think when they sold their entire back catalog to Concord Victory, they have to manually Concord then re-upload all the albums, all the songs manually. And then they match up the codes. And then once they line it up, Victory will pull it all down. So they take over the royalties for it. So someone probably just bloop, was just not paying attention, I guess. Hey, Face ID.
Typo. It could even just be a typo where it's not even that they don't know better. They just thought they hit it, and they're
I
just,
can't get into my phone because I'm a bunny.
You gotta put that into your face.
I know.
ID.
Like say, get you
the
the
So it
button.
biometric.
recognizes you, yeah.
Your
Maybe
phone's like,
that's
you're
what
not the
happened
bunny.
though.
All right, but I guess we'll move on to our next question. Shiloh Johnson asks two questions, so I guess I'm gonna have to ask you these two. Um, will there ever be a full release from Problems?
I don't think so. Maybe. I
Well,
mean, once in a while, like we're in the car, I might put it on a road trip, and I get that tickle. I'm like, I could do more of this. I don't think so. I think my primary focus right now is this band, and we just have so much to do and say, and that's it. I mean, if it happens, it happens. But nothing is planned at all, at all. Anthony's working on his like Midwestern emo music right now with some cool guys and some cool stuff. And he's just doing his thing and doing mine.
all right. I guess the second half of Shiloh's question is when will stories get remastered?
Guess what? That shit has been on my desktop and I've been meaning to upload it. I've literally talked to my business partner about uploading that once a week for the last like 3 months. And then we just always pause for some reason, like one of us forgets, and we want to release it on a specific date. So it's done. It is remastered. It should be out maybe before this interview even comes out. We'll do a limited run of hard copies.
I'm gonna release this interview tomorrow, just so you have to release it sooner. So
Yeah, I mean it's ready. It's ready. It's ready. So I'd say it's going to be out in the next 2 to 3 weeks at the latest.
I think that would be very a very helpful thing to the algorithm and the Bunny the Bear, given all the cool stuff you guys have been doing recently.
Yeah, for
Uh,
sure.
yeah. Bree Tuft asks, when are y'all having a damn tank top made?
She said, I can't
Oh,
predict
we
that.
talked about that. Yeah, because we totally could do that. And we should.
Yeah, get the bunny tank top and a bear tank top, his and her, the bunny the bear. There you go.
It's weird. I think it's literally all my fault because I don't wear tank tops.
So you don't think about making one because you don't think.
Yeah, they're not very like when I picture a tank top, I picture it on me. I don't picture myself feeling sexy or comfortable because I'm just not a tank top guy personally. So I just don't even when I'm making and uploading and putting out merch, I just don't think about the fact that millions of people wear tank tops.
But that would be a fun option, and I think we should look into that. So I think we will.
We'll do that too. Put it on the list with stories. There'll be a tank top within the next 2 to 3 weeks too.
Make a
Prepare
list.
your
A to-do
prepare
list.
yourself.
Stories, tank top.
Yes, stories tank top.
Well,
Got it.
Jay Koontz asks, I
What?
imagine the ramblings from the rabbit hole project
Bless
has
you.
been indefinitely shelved, but is there a chance we may see a similar spoken word style in the future Bunny the Bear songs? I still rock Gables and would love more.
So get this shit. Okay. That shit will come out. I have all of my demos and all the separate tracks I just got a few months ago on the same damn desktop in a zip folder. I am going to finish all of those damn songs. They will be out. I don't know, maybe we'll just release it as like maybe I'll throw her in on something and we'll make it like more like a TBTB EP, a more spoken wordy kind of stuff with my poetic stuff and just throw in some like prettier elements with her. But I'm gonna release it because there's like 5 or 6 songs in there that never saw the light of day. And if I revisit them now, all these years later, I think they're gonna fucking slap. So it's coming.
Hell yeah.
Everyone wants to know
That's
about all these damn side projects I started, and then I get bored after 6 months, and then they're all like, I don't realize how invested people are. I just take it away from them. It's like canceling your new favorite TV show over and over. I just keep doing it to people.
You're basically the Fox network.
I just come right back home to the bunny mask. I
That's
know,
awesome.
because I think about the times it's happened in my life, and it's very frustrating when you're really loving some new thing, and then you're like, soon you find out about it, it's already over. Okay. Like, I get that. I got you guys.
Scotty Lang asks, top favorite songs to perform live from both of y'all.
April 11. For sure.
She loves April 11. You kill April 11, though. You smash that song. I love April. I mean, I've always enjoyed April 11th, but I think I enjoy it now more than I ever have with you singing it. There's a different vibe to it for me. We actually, this current EP we're dropping right now has a remake of April 11th on it. So people will get that, and I think that will be really fun. I like playing Love Lies.
That's a fun one too.
I enjoy my vocal parts in Love Lies, like actually performing them. That's probably my favorite.
It's a very theatrical, like dramatic one, so that's why I like it.
It is, and it smacks too. There's some nice, really cool heavy parts, and they just feel right and they flow right live.
It's just a good song, like live song.
Yeah, some songs are great songs and they just suck live. So, that one definitely translates.
Like some get the crowd going, and then other ones are like kind of an intermission.
First Met You is one of those songs where I enjoy listening to it, but oh my gosh, it's so redundant live. We played it for so many years, but I just feel like people are just probably like this, like halfway through it. It's like a never ending, the same thing over and over and over and over again.
But then others that are.
Yeah.
So we gotta focus more on the ones that are.
Yeah. So we recently got rid of that shit live, and we're trying to find some. I think we're gonna like live. I think it's like this answer will probably change very heavily over like the next 6 months as we put out all these EPs. I think we're gonna start introducing a lot more new material and trying to weed out some of the old stuff that we've been playing for forever.
Some of the fan favorites will stay for sure.
Yeah.
But getting some of the new ones in.
What I'd like to do too, even more so than fan favorites I played for 17 years, is like find some old songs that we've never played live and start putting them in the set with like our new stuff. Because there's so many songs and I've only played like 20 of them ever.
Get the deep cut.
Yeah.
Gotta have those deep cuts. There's fans out there that have never got to hear it, and that you might be just making them happy on that next show.
The one dude really fucking he comments on almost every one of my Facebook statuses ever, and he makes a joke about me not playing Pieces. I would love to play Pieces live. He really wants me to do that, so maybe that will be one that we gotta throw in there. I love Pieces. It's a good song.
That's the best way. The best way to get a band to play your favorite song, just make it a running joke for years.
That's literally what's been. He's just like so disappointed in me and everything I post. He has to bring it up, be completely irrelevant, but that comes out somehow. That I just refuse to play Pieces.
Well, that and we get a lot of requests too when we play a show. They'll be like, "Are you gonna do this song?" And if we get like the same song at multiple shows, we'll know that one's important enough to add.
We'll definitely be bringing like say Poss and shit.
People do recommend or tell us to play that one a lot. I just didn't know that one was too slow though.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think we need to be a little. I mean, we're always just go on stage, and I think having something a little more chill it'd be cool. It'd be more of a performance. I feel than like a show and like I don't know, an experience, having a little more diversity, as long as we present it right.
I feel that too.
Oh yeah. Christopher Charles King asks, "What's your favorite color crayon?"
Chartreuse.
The hell is that?
I don't really know. I feel like that was a cool, fun crayon color though at one point.
Chartreuse?
Chartreuse. I don't know. I feel
I like purple.
There's some nuts colors in the crayon box. It's not ever just blue, purple, orange. They have some crazy names. I'm gonna find chartreuse though. I'm gonna look it up.
I'll stick with purple for my answer.
What? Chartreuse is really ugly. Even no. I imagine it's like a pretty blue.
So you don't even know what it is?
No, God. But I swear it's in a crayon box.
Somewhere.
I'm gonna find it.
On Mars.
It just makes me think like Crayola used to make like these like chrome colors that were just like really cool and powdery, but like shiny and shimmery at the same time. It was like they came in a like giant crayon like coloring like CD. You know how CD case booklets were like just big and just obnoxious and full of CDs, but it was for crayons. And I just remember all these just super bright neon chrome colors. I think that was back when like holographic like cards were all the rage in the 90s. I am old. I am 35. So I remember those good old days where things were like just shimmering and shining and frosted tips.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they had the boxes of like 64 or whatever. So it wasn't just like red, purple, orange. They had so many colors in the mix there. And of course chrome crazy ones, and then the glitter ones.
Yes.
Forget the glitter ones, yeah.
And anything for my Lisa Frank coloring book. All right. I guess this ties into the question before we asked about Crayola. Adam Dryzyga asks, when will Eating Disorder be played live?
Oh, that's another one. Adam.
It's the one I suggested too, personally. That was the one that I recommended.
We'll bring
So
Eating
maybe
Disorder
that
in
would come in.
as like an intro.
Didn't it have a lot of talking in it?
Yeah. Well, no, it's not. I mean, it's a lot of me in it.
So you were okay.
It seems like exhausting to come out
For
with,
you.
for me to like do more vocals than I do in all my other songs of the set put together. And the
Combined.
first song, like before I'm even like loosey goosey and ready to go, you know what I mean? Like,
It's an intro then.
but it is an intro. It's just
Okay.
everything about it screams intro. It could be a cool like post interlude, like intro into the second half of the set.
Yeah,
Yeah, we can do that. We'll do that, Drizzy.
that's Adam.
Yeah, you know Adam. My little buffalo friend.
Elias Leviticus Carter asks, what
Yeah,
song
what's
or
the name?
album? What
What?
song or album are you most proud of?
Well, you only dropped it once with us, so there's no point in you answering that. I don't know. I really do love the new direction, so I do love In the Fields. But I think album wise, either Food Chain or The Way We Rust. I feel like those are the most cohesive albums. I mean, that was like if people got critical like review, like if you look at any old reviews from like bigger places like Alt Press and all those places from our albums throughout the years, I feel like like how out of the box we are in my writing is between like song to song, and how a lot of our albums don't feel natural, like cohesive. They don't feel as much like an album where it's all like one being as it does a bunch of different like scattered thoughts and ideas sometimes. But I feel like Food Chain and The Way You Rest are very cohesive albums. They feel like whole pieces. Like they feel like they have the beginning, middle, and end. You know what I mean? So I would say those for that reason. I mean, obviously, like if you have anything nice to say, will always like hold a place in my heart because it's just is what it is. But those two for sure. But I think that that's going to change very shortly, probably.
Excellent.
Afterglow was pretty cohesive.
Afterglow too. No, Afterglow is. I guess, yeah. It just it's kind of its own being to me, I guess. I feel like whenever I think albums, I think of like the chunk of like what TBTB was known for, like those 5 straight albums of like substance, I guess. Afterglow is. Afterglow, you're saying that, and Afterglow is. It does all sound like it belongs together. And it fits and flows very well. So yeah. And I do love Afterglow for like what it is in the place I was in and like songwriting and what I wanted to put out there. I think it's a very good piece of work. It's so fun.
Eric S. Wagoner asks, when are we getting another When Wild Dingoes Attack album?
Another side project.
Yeah, I need to stop with the side projects and focus on TBTB. I don't know. I don't know. I've thought many times, like as I hear like when I do hear newer heavy artists, and once in a while I hear a band, I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like, and I'm not like I'm very specific with heavy music I like. Like it's gotta meet like certain criteria, and I gotta get a certain feeling from it, and it's gotta have a certain sound. And as like I hear and listen to newer artists, and once in a while one of them like hits me, I'm like, damn, that's actually fire. I kind of like I listen to heavy music now for like because of this band. Like as I hear that shit, it makes me want to kind of put out new Dingo shit because I feel like I could do something completely repulsively destructive and just it could be just monstrous. But I don't know. You might get one, you might not get one. I couldn't tell you. It really just depends where my life goes and my emotions and my feelings because you need to be. Dingoes takes a certain. I got to be in a place for that kind of stuff. I can't just be like, I'm gonna write Dingoes because Dingoes is just a creature of its own.
For it to be an authentic
It
experience.
needs to be. It can't be like some fake bullshit heavy just with like certain kinds of lyrics to like fit it being this heavy, dark, twisted thing. Like I just don't know if I'll be in that place ever again where lyrically and like emotionally, I'm vibing with that kind of art. I don't
I
know.
think that's I think that's important. You gotta kind of vibe with something spiritually if you're gonna be doing it. It's like I have to go on stage and do this like more than once, and if I'm
Mhm.
not feeling it in the writing or like production phase, I'm what's gonna make me want to bring it on the road with me type beat, you
I
know?
just don't want to do it just to do it. It's because I can. Like people don't expect that I can make like some heavy ass shit from the Bunny and the Bear. Like, oh, it's the same dude making this devastatingly nasty heavy shit. But it just I gotta want to do it and be feeling it. It's got to be authentic.
Nothing wrong with that, I don't think. Tristan Neal asks, "What is the best advice that you were given as a younger band?"
Hmm. I don't know. I really don't know. Like I just can't like spit that out. I don't know. I can't think of any like specific thing. Um,
I mean, if you could, I mean, we could always rephrase that. If you were to give advice to a younger band these days, what would you give them?
behave.
Behave.
Yes. Be
Yeah,
respectful
behave,
and
be nice.
kind.
Yeah, that's
And
that's pretty solid
mature.
advice. Behave around people that you would like around a beehive. Just don't let your tempers flare. Don't get too excited, and definitely don't flail your arms around.
The sound guy at that.
Yeah, like the sound guy who just yelled at you the other day. George Young did give me some good advice. So best advice I think I ever got in my life. I used to be pen pals with George Young. You know who that is? It's who
George Joe. It's
George
the
Young. It's who
blow
Johnny
blow
Depp that Johnny Depp plays him in Blow.
blow.
And
Yeah,
we used to be pen pals when I was younger. We write back
that's
and forth
fucking. That's
all the
really
time.
fucking cool.
And he did tell me, he told me, don't be the last monkey out of the forest fire. Now you think
Oh,
about that. Just remember that because that's very important in a lot of aspects of life. Yeah, just
that's
it'll
some
click.
transcendental shit. I
It'll
love that
click.
movie too. I
No,
love that movie.
he's
That's a
a
great ass movie.
he was an awesome dude to talk to, and he did say a lot of like enlightening shit to me as like a 17 to like 20-year-old dude. It was that long ago. We used to write back and forth when he was in prison. Um, don't be the last monkey out of the forest fire. And I
That's
took his words, and that's why I'm still here. I think.
that's freaking transcendental. That is some life altering. I'm gonna start living my life by that, and I'm not gonna be that last monkey in that forest
Don't
fire.
do
I'll tell
it.
you what.
No, you ain't getting out, buddy.
Yeah, gotta get out when the getting out is good. But
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a great answer. No, I can't. You can't top that. I don't think that George Young quote. Yeah,
No one knows. That's like a new quote that people can put on like websites that he said because he's never said it to anyone else that I've seen. It's not like when you look up his quotes on Google, that's not going to show up. But he wrote it to me.
Good trading
yeah.
strategy.
That too. It's true. I've never heeded that in my trades. I can tell you that.
First thing I thought of, and I was like, no, he does not live by that.
Not for
He
that. Goes
doesn't do
not
that.
if it's something financial. I see. I'm like I could make more money. No, I'm bad with that kind of stuff. But in other aspects of life, it's definitely important for me.
Let's see. Jack Casey asks, "What was the inspiration for the song Isles?"
Isles is like a horror thing.
What
It was
kind of
just
horror
like
thing?
it was we were like all the writing back then was very
Like you wanted it to be controversial.
I guess we had like a whole I mean, yes, I would say so. There are a lot of songs where people like we put out Flying Like a Bird. That's a straight like home invasion song. Like we were doing like this whole like when we first started the band, we were doing this whole like push buttons like horror thing. And we did that. We had an original version of the Isle video. Um that had a lot of like dark stuff in it, like an attack and stuff like that. And it was all meant to like transcend, like be very poetic and not like literal. But a lot of people at the time took it very like offensively. But we were just doing like a whole another thing. So a lot of lyrics were just kind of they might sound a little straightforward and like a love song, like this or that. But some of the like the OG songs were like more in that vein of like serial killer or murder, really dark thoughts, and just they don't sound that way until you start reading them that way. But there really wasn't like it's not like some deep inspiration. It was just like
I
dark
mean,
fantasy
I
stuff
mean, the
in my head.
mid two
Like
thousands,
people
mid two
who like
thousands was Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just that's like people who like horror movies though. It's like you were creating a horror movie, like
Mm.
but like a musical version of that.
Yeah, there was originally an idea behind Isle that I just really didn't get to flesh out because we really didn't go in that direction as a band. Songs like that, April 11th is another one like that. It's very like
Um,
stereotypical like horror slasher, like lyrically certain aspects and like crazy lunatic shit. And then right after that, we just went a different direction. Like lyric songwriting and stuff just became way more of like a private, like deep thing for me, where I became way more of a like wear my heart on my sleeve poetically. And I think you'll see that in all the rest of the albums. I'm very like honest about ways I feel or shit I'm going on in my life or things I struggle with or things I that are great in my life. I'm very, it's just like, this is me. And that's what the songwriting became. Instead of me like trying to write in like a certain vibe to like sell something and market something.
Like fiction.
I'm marketing me,
Mhm.
like this
mhm.
is me. Read my lyrics, you can tell, you can see everything about me. You can see the ups, the downs, all arounds, and it's just me. It's a journal for me, basically. It's
I think it's
become.
always been like to like the bunny, the bear's like benefit. You've always kind of like juxtaposed things, like you were saying, like with the Isle being horror themed and all that. It's kind of just like you have this band name, it's cute and cuddly animals, but we're talking about dark themes. It's kind of like pushing the envelope, being edgy, and it's just like it's kind of always been that way, like whether with it like the juxtaposition where it's kind of just like you don't really know what to expect.
Yeah, in the beginning for sure. I think we probably would have turned into like, what word did you just use?
Juxtaposition?
No, before that.
Oxymoron?
No, no, you're talking about the writing. I think it would have been more shock value shit if it would have kept going. I think that was the original thought behind the band was going to like all of it was just gonna be shock value, like just like
Yeah.
again, it's just not what I wanted to do. I guess after the first couple singles and EP, like the first like self-released EP we did, it just wasn't.
Easier to get canceled.
Well, that's what we were
Way
pushing.
easier.
We were like, we wanted to like say what we had to say and like push buttons and do things that people would get pissed about at first because they're like, it would be fun. I told you that the band was not meant to be a serious thing, really, as much as just like a fun artistic outlet. And then when it became like more of a serious thing, writing that first full length with like Victory, if you don't have anything nice to say, and shit like that, it became way more of a like just a deep dive into my own thoughts and emotions and things that I was thinking or feeling, whether it be relationship stuff or stuff regarding religion or faith or this and that. There's a lot of undertones and like a lot of layers of stuff of like stuff I was either like questioning or like trying to figure out or like I want to make a statement about. Where it just became just me,
Mhm.
whatever I was feeling. And that's what I enjoy out of it. I think it's an outlet.
All I know is we need some more marionettes and puppet videos because
Everyone
that
says
shit was
that.
fire.
We could do
That's the
marionettes again.
that's the shock value we need. I think puppets need to make a comeback, and the Bunny the Bear needs to be responsible for it.
We can do that. We can do that. That'd be cool. I think about those puppets often.
I don't know.
I want to
I
know where
think
they are. I knew where they were a couple of years ago. Someone told me that they had them, and I can't remember who it is because I want them,
my
but
puppet
I
back.
can't for the life of me remember where I found out where they were. And I'm like, that's where they've been all these years. It was like so obvious,
You
but
could
I don't
totally
know.
like I don't know if you're familiar with the Puppet Master franchise, but you have the possibility to do something really cool with puppets.
I've watched. I would think most of them.
Oh,
Never
yeah,
been like one of
there's
my
a lot.
faves, but there's some cool shit for sure. It would be fun. That'd be a fun thing to kind of go back in. Like I would like to like in some of our newer stuff, like just like do little odes to like old things. Just
That's
like
what I was
you had a
mentioning the
great
other
idea.
day.
Yeah, she came up with a really great idea that we won't talk about now because I want to do it. And it was great. It was a
And that's a big
perfect,
surprise.
yeah, it was like a good ode to like the past incarnations of the band. It was a great idea.
It's always cool. That's always good, like to embrace your past, respect your future, and kind of just like you know it's like respecting like the legacy and fans who have hung around long enough to kind of appreciate all that stuff as time has gone on.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. Like the people who've stuck around since the very beginning, it would be for them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I feel like I've always
But
pretty much really embraced all areas of this band and kind of always been an open book on the past, present, future kind of stuff. So I think it'd be fun. I've never wanted something to just disappear.
I think the last question, I think this will be how we end this interview before we go to my usual ending interview question. Uh, Brandon Caldwell asked, "Why is Matt's Call of Duty KD so low?"
I only play Call. Okay, listen, that's some
Brandon.
bullshit. I know Brandon, and if you think you're funny, I will be all asses, all of them. First of all, I will come back. I do not like Call of Duty no more. I haven't played in years. I really at all. I don't like Call of Duty no more. But
Don't make me
I
don't
will
make me
always
go
be
back.
King Bun Bun, Lord of the Knife, and if I have to come out of retirement, just put some people in their places, I will. I got all the time in the world. I'll push back recording sessions for a month. I will it's on. Don't mess.
You
Don't call.
want that.
Yes,
You
don't call
want
me out.
that.
I only got time for one passion project right now. It's the Bunny the Bear becoming King Bun Bun Lord of the Knife again. So
That was pretty much just like the other guys where he was Gator. It's just like don't make me go back. Just unlocking that darkness. Well, I feel like I've hogged you guys for a good hour and a half here now, I believe. But I wanted to ask. Usually, when I end my interviews, I usually just ask if you guys want to shout out like super your friends or homies, whatever. But usually, I ask, what are you listening to these days on whatever streaming service you happen to be using?
no, I got my phone real quick.
No, you're more than welcome. You can
Oh wait,
cheat all you
I
want.
got
You can
it.
pull up your phone. You can bust it out if
I'm
you.
just curious, like on Spotify, what I've even went back to recently. I got 80s dance party on here from when I was dancing around with underwear on my head yesterday.
You did do that. I recorded it.
Not shit. Listen to some Manchester Orchestra lately, but all the same, I always go back to the same things. There's not many new artists I've been listening to.
You're definitely an Aurora fan.
I do love Aurora.
I appreciated the song that Aurora did with Bring Me the Horizon. I love
Oh,
that one.
That's cool.
that's
Yes.
sick.
I have been jamming that album. As much as Bring Me the Horizon changed, I did appreciate that newest album they put out.
I have been digging the last few the plotting new releases. When I say I don't listen to heavy music, that's one of the few heavy-esque bands that I listen to. I really dig the plot in you. I think that they're just enough like doing their own thing that it doesn't seem mundane and boring to me and repetitive like all the other heavy music does to me. Like they're one of those few bands I really appreciate. I really like. So I rock some of that. I don't know what else. Anything else what have you been listening to?
I'm going down this like EDM rabbit hole right now just because like I only listen to heavy, so I feel like I'm kind of branching out. Kind of
Your dance on?
Yeah. I told him, I said, I want to go to one of those EDM shows. I've never been to one. I thought that'd be
Brave it
fun.
up, man. Get some
Yeah.
candy.
I've never done that before, and I feel like now I'm so it's gonna be one aspect of life that I just completely miss. So I was like, let's just go to one.
Don't feel bad. I've never been. My cousin used to go in the 90s, and that was like, party monster like times, and like that was a different era, but I definitely
Mhm.
do miss like the sight of parachute pants and
Oh my
plastic
Oh.
gosh.
clothes and all kinds of rubber bracelets and candy. Like my cousin would always come back, and he'd always come back with like a stack of flyers. It was
Oh my
just
gosh.
good old days, man. I probably would enjoy myself, but probably not too much, if you know what I mean.
I don't know. Like I used to, I've went to quite a few, especially back in the party days. Or no, Bunny and his party days. But it's never those EDM and like the dance stuff. It's never been my like cup of tea. Even when I was there, I learned that, yeah, you know, I'm not gonna, this will probably be the last time. And I go to another one a couple years later or something. So not really my thing, but if she said something today, I'm like, okay, I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll dip my toe back in. I didn't think I would ever go to one again, but the fact that you never have, and
Yeah.
life is just so, it's just life. You gotta experience it. I want her to experience everything that she hasn't with me. So of course we're gonna do it at some point.
I think, yeah, more so than it being my cup of tea, it's just exciting because it's something I've never done. So
Well,
I just want to do it.
You don't even know it could be
I
your
don't
cup
know.
of tea.
Maybe
I
I
hope
love
it's
it.
not, but I hope it doesn't end up being. But
I think I'm craving a new experience. We've done shows.
Yeah.
I want to do something new, but I don't want to go too far either. So let's find something I've never done, but that's like right here.
Yeah,
So that could be the answer.
that good. I love it. We'll do that.
I don't know. I've always just I've envisioned you guys like I believe the first time me and Matt ever spoke, I told him like for some reason you guys feel like a real big vibe match for like the birthday massacre, and they've always done like
Everyone
Alice
keeps
in
saying that
Wonderland.
lately.
Yeah, they do. They've always had like the Alice in Wonderland theme. So like the bunny obviously fits, and I'm pretty sure there's a bear in Alice in Wonderland, but it's just like the dark, moody vibe. And I just feel like I mean, maybe because they're from Canada, so they don't really come over to the States too often, but I think that would be like a great match for y'all because I definitely see like the him influence in like both of y'all's bands where it's just kind of like dark, moody, there's a cool ass synth everywhere. And like I don't know, I think you guys could probably do something like that really cool and thematic because it's just there's so much there like creatively, you know?
Hey, I would love to do something. I remember when they were like popping off back in the Hot Topic days, like forever ago. And then people have been mentioning them all lately. I've been seeing a lot of people tell me I need to do something with them. It's so weird because I haven't heard their name in years. I forgot about them, and they seem to still be doing pretty well. I would love to go out with them or do something, like even a song or something would be really cool.
Oh
They're
yeah,
definitely a unique band.
I got in trouble ditching school trying to buy tickets for their show in high school. So, you
How
know,
fun.
I think they're pretty cool.
Yeah, hell yeah, for sure. I would love that.
But other than that, if you could just tell all of our viewing like folks how they can reach you on social media, what is usually the at tag that helps people find y'all?
The Bunny the Bear official. That will be one of those two on everything. So we're not hard to find.
Yeah, there's
We're not
usually
hard
like
to
a
find.
blue verified check mark. There will be no fake profiles. The
There
real
is, yeah.
sources are always verified.
Yeah, the same with both of our personals. The Matthew Tyber and Brooke Tyber. You can search our names on Instagram. We both got the check marks, so there's any other accounts not us. Especially with me lately, because there's been a lot of fake Facebooks popping up with me the last like 2 weeks.
You're a popular guy, man.
I
I can
don't
see
know.
why they're trying to emulate you, man. They want to be that. They
Yeah.
want that bunny steez. You know, they're just trying to be cool.
Just look for the check mark.
They do it to
All right.
me. It's usually like a fake spicy page. So I don't ever have one of those. So just know that would not be mine.
Yeah, someone did make a fake what's it called? You
Yeah, I've had a few people tell me about some random ones with my name.
what's that damn site when you the
OnlyFans.
OnlyFans, making OnlyFans, they're not her.
Mm-hmm.
Not her. Just so you guys know.
It's not out there.
No.
This is a
No.
wholesome page.
Yes.
But 100%, I appreciate y'all taking the time today. I think this is a great interview. I think we've learned a lot today. We've cried. We've had a lot of learning experiences here, and I just want to thank y'all for taking the time today and coming here today on Warp Chase podcast.
Yeah, it's our pleasure. That's
Thank
so
you
fun.
for having us.
Thank you.
Oh heck yeah! I think there should be more long form Bunny the Bear interviews out there. You know, like usually, like I was talking about
I
earlier,
agree.
a lot of interviews are like 10 minutes, 20 minutes. So it's cool to see y'all like just kind of give everybody the meat and potatoes and just give them like a real big interview. I always enjoy it myself.
Oh, happy to give it to you, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate it. But I'd like to thank our sponsors, Ghost Killer Entertainment, Heretic Promotions, Breaking Scene Media, and Dark Stars Media. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Ryan Rex. This has been the Bunny the Bear. Thank you for joining us. Have a great day.
Yeah.